The Dancing Mania of 1518. On 14th July 1518, a woman stepped outside her home in Strasbourg and started to dance. This would turn into an epidemic and kill hundreds of people. It all started with a woman called Trophea who danced without music until she collapsed of exhaustion hours later. The next morning she continued, ignoring her husband's increasingly desperate pleas to stop. When she wouldn't stop dancing even days later, the authorities sent her to Saverne, about 40 kilometers away, to the shrine of Saint Vitus, who was seen as the patron saint for dancers. This seemed to have stopped Trophea's mania. However, others had already been infected. More and more people joined the manic dancing, and many didn't stop until they died from exhaustion. At its height, 15 people were dying each day. In total, this dancing mania is believed to have killed hundreds. At first, the authorities in Strasbourg used a counterintuitive approach to control this epidemic. They built dance floors and hired musicians, with the intention to help the victims dance off their mania and get back to normal. Quite surprisingly, this had the opposite effect and made matters much worse. Seeing the frenzied dancers and believing it to be divine punishment for sins led many to join in the dancing. So in response, the authorities banned dancing and music altogether, and the worst affected were taken to the shrine of Saint Vitus, where they underwent a cleansing ritual. This seemed to have helped, and after about a month, this epidemic was over. Until today, it is not entirely clear what had caused this dance mania. At the time, explanations included overheated blood and, of course, divine anger. The famous physician Paracelsus saw the cause in some kind of feminist rebellion of women against their husbands. Modern historians have attributed the mania to various kinds of intoxications, for example with ergot. However, the symptoms of ergot poisoning contradict the reports of dancing for many days, and others suggested toxins wouldn't spread like the dancing mania did. So the most plausible explanation today is that people started dancing in a state of extreme despair. At the time, people suffered from bad harvests and political instability, and dancing can lead to a state of trance where pain, hunger and exhaustion seem to vanish. Not too far from modern day raves that also can go on for days. Or maybe they took dance like nobody's watching just a bit too far.